U.S. Pacific Forces warning that ISIS terrorists are now looking to open a new front in Southeast Asia. The admiral saying the battle in the southern Philippines last May has been a wake-up call for that region. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, Fox News strategic analyst, with me now. And sir, it's nice to see you and good morning.
Great to see you, Bill.
So you had this matter in Europe where trained fighters were going to Iraq and Syria and going home, and we have seen what they have done in Brussels and in Paris and in London. Is this effect happening now in places like the Philippines?
Well, it's happening, and it's much more dangerous. Europe will ultimately be able to contain its Islamist terror threat. It'll sputter on. But you're talking about a belt of nations from looking westward from the Philippines back to Indonesia, Brunei, Malaysia, India with its large Muslim population, Pakistan, astride the world's shipping lanes. These are largely Muslim-majority nations. The concentration, the largest percentage of Muslim population in the world in that belt, and the radicalization had been contained, but now with ISIS recruits coming back and also non-locals flooding into what are now viewed as terrorist safe havens, this has potential to really explode.
Wow. The Philippines, largely Christian, mostly Catholic. Indonesia, different story.
Yeah, absolutely. The Philippines, 100 million people, about 11% are Muslims, concentrated in the southern islands. Indonesia is the most populous Muslim country in the world, 257 million population, 230 million Muslims, spread over 17,000 islands. It's a vast country, a perfect place to hide out. Long tradition of religious tolerance, except in the far west, Banda Aceh, special case, always radical. But now I've seen them, and I've been there, I've seen them getting more and more radicalized every year. Traditionally, Indonesians are very, very tolerant, practice a hybrid form of Islam, or forms of Islam. Now the Saudi money, Gulf money is pouring in. Terrorists are moving there. Trouble coming every day, to quote Frank Zappa.
We have this from Admiral Harry Harris, Commander, U.S. Pacific Forces. He says this: Marawi is a wake-up call for every nation in the Indo-Asia Pacific. These terrorists are using combat tactics that we've seen in the Middle East. The first time ISIS-inspired forces have banded together to fight on this kind of scale. You suggest that geography is fate.
Absolutely.
How come?
Well, look at where these countries lie. The bulk of the world's cargo trade to Europe, to Africa, Middle East, from Japan, South Korea, China, it goes through the various straits, such as the Straits of Malacca. These countries dominate. And by the way, Bill, this isn't a new problem. The United States has dealt with this before. After the Spanish-American War, when we took the Philippines from Spain, among the toughest individual enemies we've ever faced in the U.S. Army, U.S. military, apart from the Apaches, were the Moros, which is Spanish word for Moors in the southern Philippines, and Muslims. In fact, they were so ferocious. They come into battle drugged up, attacking you, that you couldn't knock them down. It's like trying to knock down a meth head. And we ultimately had to develop the famous .45 caliber Army pistol to have enough stopping power to shoot down a Moro attacking us.
Wow, it's amazing history.
So we've been there.
To the original point about ISIS in Syria and Iraq, in Mosul and Raqqa, do you believe, as the reporting suggests, that their days are numbered there, or will they just go quiet for now?
The days of the caliphate as a physical entity are definitely numbered. It's collapsing. It's a matter of time. Will it be weeks? Will it be months? They've lost the battle to hold turf. But now they'll move to, well, they might want to hold turf in the Far East now, but in the Middle East, it'll still be sputtering on, but it'll be reduced to terrorism, vicious attacks, guerrilla-type tactics, which local governments will have to deal with for a long time to come. And this is a matter of a great religious civilization in the Middle East that has cracked up and gone to pieces. We can't fix it. They have to. It will take time.
Well, Colonel, thank you. Always nice to see you. Ralph Peters.
Bill.